Okay. We're barely even into camp, into Vikings training camp. We've already got our first annoying Kirk story of the whole shebang. Uh, so Kwesi did some interview with USA Today, and I guess the interview was actually done a while ago, but it just recently came out. And there were a couple of quotes in there that were in relation to Kirk, and it caused a big stir. Um, basically, you know, it's basically saying like it's easier. You know, Kirk is not. He basically said Kirk is not a Patrick Mahomes or a Tom Brady. It's easier to win a Super Bowl if you have a Patrick Mahomes or a Tom Brady, and that's like the most benign thing possible you could say. Um, and even I would agree with that. Like, yeah, it's easy. It's I've been a major Kirk defender for the whole time he's been here. I wouldn't put him in the top five, best quarterbacks. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. He's got to go. He's a long way to go if he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But like these are just this is just like it's a big nothing burger. But it ain't a nothing burger when you have a whole media industrial complex, the Kirk Cousins derangement syndrome industrial complex in the media, that they look for anything. Like they were, remember, you go back to when Kwesi was first hired. What were these media experts, quote unquote experts, what were they pushing? Kwesi's gonna Kwesi's gonna rebuild. He's gonna get rid of Kirk. He doesn't want Kirk. He's gonna get rid of him. And then it didn't happen, and they were very very upset. Um, so now here we are, 6 months later, and you know they're jumping on this now to trying to be like, oh, okay, he doesn't really like Kirk. He's just scared. He's just scared about rebuilding. Blah 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 blah. It's unbelievable. The media has for 4 years. They have every fucking day basically, especially in season every day, trashed Kirk Cousins on everything. They have not stopped for a day. Even when they win a playoff game, they don't stop. It's just been Kirk bashing constantly, bullshit narratives, stupid, twisting shit to make Kirk look bad. Anything they can find, any little morsel. But now they're going to turn around and act like, oh my God, how could Kwesi say this about Kirk? You've been saying this shit about Kirk for 4 years, and in far more derogatory ways than anything Kwesi said. I don't think what Kwesi said is either, I don't think it's inaccurate, and I don't think it's insulting to Kirk. And I'm sure Kirk is an adult and he can handle what was said about him. I don't think he cares. I don't think Kirk himself thinks he's better than like a Patrick Mahomes. Like, but this is what we are. Get your Kirk Cousins derangement syndrome shots. Get your boosters, because it's a new season. It's a new wave. It's a new variant, and it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Like, why was this made up into a story? And I guess I'm contributing to it in my own small little way now too. But like, why was this a story? Why has this been talked about for like 2-3 days now? Like, even Kwesi, then he had a press conference, I think yesterday or the day before, and he said like he's got to learn to say less, as a GM, which is probably true, but especially when you see what the media will do, they'll jump on anything to twist it into a big story, and I guess it became something of a story because I've heard about it for days now, and it's ridiculous because nothing Kwesi said was even insulting to Kirk. What a lot of these media fuckers have been saying for 4 years has been insulting to Kirk, calling him every bad name and calling him greedy, calling him a choker. The whole list. Um, but this is ridiculous. Like, he didn't say anything wrong. He didn't say anything wrong. He didn't say anything bad. Does he have to come out and say Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback in the NFL? No question about it. Because guess what? If he did that, then he'd be getting ripped for that. They obviously like Kirk, or they would have done something with Kirk this offseason. I don't get it through your fucking heads. These people who fucking hate Kirk and won't shut up about it and haven't shut up about it for 4 years. The previous regime disagreed with you about Kirk. Well, not Zimmer, apparently. The GM, at least. And the new regime disagrees with you about Kirk. They like Kirk. They want him here. If they didn't want him here, he would not be here. They would have worked something out. They would have done it. They would have done some sort of a trade. This is what this, if you don't want a quarterback, like, Browns really didn't want Mayfield. 49ers, they obviously don't want Garoppolo. Like, something gets worked out. But if you want the quarterback, he stays, and Kirk stayed and took a fucking pay cut. No one wants to mention that either. But and I've said before, I think he's going to have maybe his best season ever with a coach and a system that really is going to play to his strengths and just play not just play to his strengths, but not accentuate the weaknesses of the surrounding cast. I don't think the offensive line, I don't think it's going to be world beaters this year anyway, but I guarantee that this coaching staff is going to do a better job at masking that, and that's going to make Kirk look a lot better. It's going to help him immensely. And that doesn't mean they're going to win a Super Bowl. It's fucking hard to win a Super Bowl. People don't want to understand that. Like, is it easier to win a Super Bowl if you have a Patrick Mahomes? Sure. But he's only won it once. Like, you can win Super Bowls with other quarterbacks. And it's not always the number one quarterback in a given year who wins the Super Bowl. And that's all he was really saying. You want to have one of those absolute top 5 guys. I think we've seen top 5 level play from Kirk before. I think we're going to see a lot of it this year. And he's still not going to get credit because this is the narrative is just it's cemented. There's nothing short of, I guess, winning a Super Bowl that Kirk Cousins is ever going to be able to do to change some of the minds around here. But, like, God, it's like we're not even to August yet, and this is already it's already starting. Get your boosters, get your Kirk Cousins derangement syndrome boosters, because this stuff ain't going away. But like it's ridiculous. Like you people have spent years shitting on this guy so much worse than anything Kwesi said. And now you want to turn around and act like, oh my God, what a scandal. Did you see what Kwesi said about Kirk? And he didn't say anything bad. And I don't think Kirk, and I would highly doubt that Kirk took it as any sort of insult. He's a grown man. He's an adult. He's a veteran player for 10 years. He knows that he's not as good as Patrick Mahomes. So what? He's a damn good quarterback. Kwesi knows it. KOC knows it. Smart Vikings fans know it. And that's all we need. So, oh boy. I don't know if I'm physically capable of dealing with another season of this shit. The Kirk Cousins derangement syndrome. It's never gonna go away. But nothing will shut these deranged Kirk haters up like Kirk just balling out this year, and I think he's gonna do that.